Hey class, welcome to this week's video. We're going to be taking notes here on sector area. So as usual, pause the video, set up your notes, title, essential question, all that good stuff, and let's go. Feel free to pause at any time if you get behind or if you need to rewind or whatnot. Okay, so I'm just going to run through this PowerPoint here. So anything you see that goes on the screen, make sure that you're putting it in your notes as well. Okay, so let's go on here to the second slide. So sector area, make sure you write down the definition as you can see here. Okay, the sector area is a section of the area of the circle. So it's not the full area of the circle, it's a section of the area of the circle. So like down here in this example, the shaded region, you can see that's not the full area of the circle, it's just a part of the area. That's what sector area is. So we're going to learn how to find that. So let's just do this first example. First, we need this. Here's how you do it. Okay, the sector area, pull this up, is sector area is the degree measure of the angle in the sector. So in this case, if we wanted to find the shaded region, that's a 210 degree angle. Okay, also the arc measure is also 210 degrees. Out of 360. So why is it out of 360? Because remember, a full circle is 360 degrees. So only the portion that we want is 210. And then we're just going to multiply that by pi r squared. So that should look familiar because the area of a circle is pi r squared. Let me erase this. Remember, area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So to find a sector area, all you need to do is multiply that by the degree measure, theta, out of 360. Theta is just the angle measure, so in this case it would be 210. Okay, so let's go ahead and hopefully you have that. If you haven't already done so, sketch that example. Alright, and let's work on that one. So if we're going to find the sector area of this guy, right here, okay, we're going to do, I'm just going to label it SA for short. Sector area is the degree measure of that sector area, which in this case is 210 degrees. So I'm going to say 210 out of 360. And I'm going to multiply that by the normal area formula, which is pi r squared. Okay, and let me actually erase that because the radius, as you can see in this case, is 3 inches. So I'm going to multiply this by pi times 3 squared. Okay, I'm going to go up here to the right because I have a little bit more room. But as you can see, oops, let me pull that back up, sorry. Okay, I don't know where it went. Let me, there it is. Okay, it's back. So now we have 210 divided by 360 times pi. 3 squared is 9. So that's 9 pi. So I'm going to write it right here. 210 divided by 360 times 9 pi. Because 3 squared is 9. And then 9 times pi, we can just say 9 pi. So in your calc, and remember, I can make this into a fraction by just putting it over 1. Okay, so you're just going to need a calculator to do the rest. So we're going to multiply 9 pi times 210. You should have a calculator in front of you and you should be doing this. So you can see that 9 times 210 is 1,890 pi over, and then 360 times 1 is just 360. Okay, if I divide 1,890 divided by 360, okay, it gives me like 5.25 pi, so it doesn't reduce real nice. All right, we can divide the zeros out. If they both end in 0, we can just cross those out. All right, and then this can be our answer, 189 pi over 36. Let me get a whiteboard here. Okay, so we have 189 pi over 36 is our answer. I can divide both of those by 3. 189 divided by 3 is 63. So that gives me 60. Again, I'm just reducing. 63 pi, 36 divided by 3 is 12. And I can divide by 3 again, and that gives me 21 pi. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so this is my answer. That's called my exact answer because I didn't multiply by pi. Because remember, when we multiply by pi, we have to round it. Okay, so that's my answer in terms of pi units. So this is going to be feet squared. I forgot what the problem was. It might have been inches squared or feet squared. Can't remember exactly what it was. Okay, and now if we want to get an estimate answer, then all we would need to do then is 21 times pi. You should be doing this in your calculator. 21 times pi. Let's see where that is. There it is that, and then I divide it by 4. Which gives me about 16.5. So that's about 16.5, and I think it was inches, square inches, because it's area. So that's the area of that amount, about 16. Yeah, it is inches, about 16.5 inches. So there's two ways to express. See how it says express your answer in terms of pi? That was the first answer, 21 pi over 4, and then also rounded to the nearest tenths, which was 16.5. All right, let's move on to the next screen. Again, pause it, copy the problem. As soon as it's all copied, then click continue. All right, so it says a beam from a lighthouse is visible for a distance of 5 miles. What is the area covered by the beam as it sweeps in an arc of 150 degrees, round to the nearest tenth? Okay, so let me pull up my whiteboard. Okay, let's erase all this stuff. And maybe, let's see, format the background. Let's get a different color in there. Solid. There we go. That's better. A little bit better. Okay, so imagine, like, if you have a lighthouse and the beam, if it goes all the way around, that beam is going to make a full circle. Okay. Now, it did say it was 150 degrees. So here's the beam right here. So say the light starts here and then it sweeps. It's sweeping around, okay, and it goes about 150 degrees. Let's say it stops right there, okay. So that's a 150 degree angle right there. So it wants to know what is the area of that sector that was created by that beam. And remember, it shines out at a 5-mile radius. Let's double check that. Yep, it is 5 miles. So we're going to find the area of that shaded region inside, right in here. Okay, so we can do that. Let's move this over a little bit. So it's the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. That's the full area. But if I want just the sector area, all I need to do is multiply by the angle of the sector over out of 360, because that's the full circle. Okay, so all we need, so the radius is 5. That's going to plug that in for there. And the angle that was created was 150. We're going to plug that in for there. And that's all we need to do. So let's work that out. So we have area equals pi times 5 squared times 150 out of 360. Right away, I can cancel those zeros out. All right, that's just like dividing by 10. 5 squared is 25, so I'm just going to work this down a little bit. So that gives me 25 pi. 5 squared is 25 times pi is 25 pi times, and then I think I can simplify that even more. What number can we divide 15 and 36 by? Hopefully you're thinking 3, so 15 divided by 3 is 5. 36 divided by 3 is 12, so that gives me 5 twelfths. Again, I'm just simplifying the fraction to make it easier. Okay, 25 pi, I can just put that over 1. And if we multiply those together, I get 125 pi over 12. And that looks pretty good. There is no number that divides 125 and 12. So miles squared, and that is going to be our exact answer, or it's in terms of pi. Now, if we want an estimate answer, all you need to do is just punch that into a calculator. So grab your calculator, punch that in. 125 times pi. I'm going to use the pi button. It's more accurate. Equals, and then I'm going to divide it by 12. And that gives me 32.7. So approximate answer is about 32.7 square miles is the area that light beam covers. Okay, if it shoots out a distance of 5 miles and sweeps 150 degrees, that's going to be about 32.7 square miles. And that's how you would do that one. All right. So there you go. That's how you're calculating sector area. Pretty short notes. Make sure you have all that stuff inside of your notes. And then here's what you're going to do at the end. I want you to write a summary. Okay. Nice paragraph. Do these two things. Complete sentences. Describe what the sector area is and describe how to find the sector area. As usual, you guys, if you have any questions, please shoot me a text on Remind, School Loop, and use the other resources that I'm giving you to help you with this content. See you next video.